I don't know where you guys are, but it's nice seeing you. Charlo, you look good. And I see, is that Liz? Yes. The rest, the rest are names and pictures. So we want to thank God for this opportunity. If it is okay, do you guys normally pray around here?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, let me say a short prayer, then get into this. Thank you, God, for this privilege to talk about social wellness. Bless us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Guys, let us unmute mseme amen. Msikatae maombi.
Amen.
Yes. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Madam CEO and everybody else at Uniport Loans. Let me just begin by saying I'm very grateful because of Uniport and what I see it's doing in the lives of the students where I'm teaching. And I want to really appreciate what Uniport is doing. Please, we pray that Uniport will grow to be bigger so that it can help many more students. Thank you so much, Uniport and everybody. And I'm glad to be part of you as a mentor for the students. Now, a discussion today is on building healthy relationships and a sober mental well-being. Now, let me begin by saying, ladies and gentlemen, that a person is a totality of several things. Each person has various aspects that make him or her complete. You see, for example, when you look at a student has an academic life. They have grades that they are chasing, assignments and what have you. That's their academic life. But that's not all about a student. The student also has physical health, so that if you have flu, malaria, or something else, it will affect your studies. So your life is not all about academic. There is something about your physical health. The same student also has got certain beliefs that could best be described as religious beliefs. And so if the student has got religious beliefs, that means that if the student feels like their relationship with their God is not very good, it will affect their health and affect their academic life. Now, the same student also has a financial aspect. They have rent to pay, maybe they have airtime to buy, they have bundles that they need to communicate, they need money here and there, there is a pair of shoe they need, there is a cloth that the student wants, and they have a friend they want to take out, and yet they don't have money. This lack of money can interfere with the student when they are seated in class listening to the teacher. Or even when they are seated in a place of worshiping, that lack of money will keep interfering. That means, ladies and gentlemen, that we are made of several aspects of ourselves. We are not just academic. We are not just physical. We are not just financial. You see, the same student is social, relates with other people, has mother, father, or brother, sister, uncle. And when they hear that brother, sister, uncle, aunt, or friend is unwell, it affects them. So when they go to church, they are thinking of their sick friend. That means that when we relate with other people, it also affects other aspects of our life. If anything goes wrong with one aspect, the individual is not okay. And so we must reach a point where we agree that each aspect of life affects the rest. A person is a totality of all aspects that they are. Now, we are normally tempted, of course, to focus on the prevailing aspect to the detriment of the other aspects. That's always our temptation. We are tempted that let's focus on our studies, then we will deal with others later. But do you realize that you can focus on your studies, ruin your health, then after you succeed in your life, you now have to spend the remaining part of life fixing your health? That will be failure. Again, you realize that if, for example, you delay your social life as you chase religion or education or money, you may miss it completely, so that you get to a point where you say, now I'm ready to socialize, and everybody left. So it is important to realize that while there may be a prevailing matter at hand, and for many of us, the prevailing matter at hand is our academic pursuit. we must not forget to create a balance with the other aspects of life that require our attention. The secret, ladies and gentlemen, is to find a balance and create time for each of these aspects in our lives. And so today, our focus is on social wellness. But that doesn't mean that we are diminishing your financial life, your academic life, your religious life. We're just focusing on social wellness, which has to do with how you relate with others and how others relate to you. Your social life can be an acceleration to success or be the reason for misery or even death. Kenyan media has reported recently very serious murders that have happened in the hands of loved ones, or where the key suspects of the people who have died are their loved ones, the people they loved, the people they chose. So it is important, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't take lightly the matter of love. And those who have gone ahead know the road better than those who are coming behind. I'll tell you a story, by the way. Let me tell you a story so that you understand. A story is told that one person was driving down the road and another one was driving up the road. And so the one driving up the road waved at the other one and told him, slow down, slow down. And the other one slowed down and listened. And the other one shouted and told him, donkeys. And this one felt like he had been abused, that he's a donkey. So he shouted back at the other one and told him, you are a bigger donkey. And he accelerated. But after taking the first turn, there was a huge herd of donkeys, and he plowed in, and there was a serious accident. What happened? He couldn't listen to those who have gone ahead. There is a belief among all of us, ladies and gentlemen, that we know better. All of us believe that we know better. I'm sure when you are in primary school, you believed that you know better than your parents. And when you are in secondary school, you believe that you know better than your teachers. And remember, your teachers finished secondary school, they went to the university, they went through university, qualified. But at secondary school, you believe you know better than your teachers. That's why secondary school students burn their domes and just showing how much brain they have. Because they believe they know better. When you listen to them arguing, they know better. In fact, they believe if they were given the school, they will run it. Of course, they wouldn't. I want you to know that one of our biggest challenges is that we believe we know better. And the best way to learn is to remind yourself that I think I know better, but I need to be taught. I need to be taught. While I think I know better, I need to be taught. Many of the people who have died in the hands of the suspected loved ones is because they believed that they know better. And now they are dead, so dead, and they have no time to reverse it. So it is important, ladies and gentlemen, that you watch your social life. Watch your social life. Because your social life can be the reason for your downfall. Your social life with other friends. Friends can mislead you. Friends can put you into trouble. You end up with criminal charges because of friends. Friends can be the reason why you never make it in life. And so our social well-being is critical. So as we say, your social life can be an acceleration to success or be the reason for misery or death. Therefore, take note of the following. Number one, we can't choose our neighbors and relatives, but we must choose our friends. You can't choose your neighbors anywhere. You can't buy off all neighbors. You have to buy all of us out of earth. At some point, after you buy off everyone, there will still be a neighbor you can't buy off. So you must just deal with the neighbors as they are. Relatives you don't choose. They are your relatives. They may be backward, they may be good, they may be bad, but they are your relatives. You can't do anything. But surely, for God's sake, if we can choose our friends, then let's do better. If you don't like your neighbors and your relatives, then let's see what you can do with your friends. Choose some good friends. You see, ladies and gentlemen, the future for many of us at this age is eventually to make it in life, we reach a point where we reach in life where we have achieved. And what do you want when you have achieved in life? You want to have friends eventually at a certain point. Those friends can even turn out to be husband or to be wife. And so what are you expected to do now is to have friends now. Why? Because there is one extreme where you are so focused on your studies, there is no single person who can be identified as your friend. It is not healthy for your mental well-being. You must have somebody you can turn to and say, I'm getting frustrated by this professor. I'm getting frustrated by this lecturer. You need somebody to talk to. You need somebody to tell your fears. You need somebody to express your concerns about what is happening back at your home. You need friends. Without friends, you will bottle it up. And the next thing that may happen is that you will start telling the whole world on social media that I feel depressed. You need to have friends. And normally, the best husband, the best wife is not the one you search when you need a husband or wife, but somebody you have first known at the level of friend. Then they now upgrade. You promote them to husband or promote them to wife. And so it's best that while at school, begin with just having enough friends, many friends, all types of friends that you interact with. Because tomorrow you will need business partners. Business partners need to be people that you know. People that you know. These are the people who become your business partners. In future, you may need people who you connect with here and there. You know, these days they say it's not about net worth, it's about network. And that network begins at this level. So you cannot avoid people so that you are always a lone ranger and hope to make it in life. That's not how life works. Life is made of connections. There is always a connection between someone and someone. When you see anyone making a movement, there is a connection somewhere. And those are the connections you need. Your social well-being depends on the connections you develop now. Have friends. Now, ladies and gentlemen, relationships can be with an individual or even a group of people. You know, sometimes we have our gang of friends, you know, the gang of girls who always hang out together having girl talk, the gang of men who are always ganging up together discussing soccer and other things. Let me tell you, friends, do not be enslaved to a group or person. It's not healthy. This is very common. Sometimes the group decides and says, we are going for a party. Now that the president has lifted the curfew, we must celebrate end of curfew. You have no money, but here are friends who are saying end of curfew must be celebrated. You have no money. And so, because you want to please these friends, you sell your mattress, you sell your shoes, and you sell whatever else you have in order to please these friends. You are a slave. Those friends are no good for you. You are a slave. You must be free enough to tell them, hey guys, get going. I'm not available. I don't have the money for now. I don't do that. Then that is a healthy relationship. If you are in the status of a slave, then it's not healthy. So let's ask the question, what is a healthy relationship? And I want to identify a few things that make a healthy relationship. I'm going to mention 10 things that make a healthy relationship. 10 things. I will just mention 10 things that make a healthy relationship. The first one, a healthy relationship is not a secret relationship. A healthy relationship is not a secret relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, if it must be secret, there is a problem. You are hiding it from somebody. Who are you hiding it from? What could be some of the good reasons for hiding a relationship? There is no good reason. If you are hiding a relationship so that somebody does not take your loved one, then that means you are not secure in that relationship. It's not healthy. There is no security. There is no reason why any relationship should be secret. If you have a group of friends that you are hiding your identity in that group. That when you are with that group, you don't want anyone to know that this is your gang of friends, this is your group of friends, then you need to get out of that group. If you have a friend that you can't tell people about, you need to leave that friend alone. You see, in primary school, you are not supposed to have a relationship. If you have a relationship of boyfriend, girlfriend, you need to get 2 whips, at least 2 or 3 good ones, so that your head wakes up. Primary school, for heaven's sake. So at that point, you can hide it because you fear being caned. And at secondary school too. But what happens when you are at the college, at the university? You cannot hide. I'm saying point number 1, healthy relationship should not be secret. Should not be secret. It should not be secret. It is not national security. You don't have to hide it. That you are partly behaving single, but you are secretly behaving like you are engaged. No. If it is secret, it's not healthy. I hope you are getting it, ladies and gentlemen. If it is secret, there is a problem. Avoid it if it is secret. Because secrecy suggests that if it comes open, then it may be exposed. You know that if your parents know about it, they will say no for a reason. You know that if other people know about it, they will not approve of it. That means there is already a problem. A secret relationship is no good. I know there are people who have sung songs, Secret Lovers. That's what we are. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, that song is not supposed to advise us that we go around with secret lovers. Don't we eventually declare who is husband, who is wife? Secret loving is no good for nobody. Take note of that. That is just number 1. Number 2, a healthy relationship is not violent verbally, emotionally, or physically. A healthy relationship is not violent verbally, emotionally, or physically. When I say that, I mean it is not. I'm not saying that if it is violent once in a while, it's okay. It should not be. If you are in a relationship that is ever violent, you are in a gang of friends, every time they go out, they drink, they fight, they drink, they fight. One day, either you will be dead or you will be charged with murder when you get sober. And you will spend the rest of your youth and adult life in prison. And by the time they release you, Kenya will have had so many elections, we will have built so many roads all over, you will not even know the road to your home. Make sure that you don't go around with a gang of violent people who every time at the small taste of alcohol, 1 sip, they get violent. You should not even be there in the first place. Or you are with somebody you are relating with as a man or as a woman, and they are violent. They are ever abusing you, provoking you, emotionally draining you, verbally abusing you, and physically. Free advice, ladies and gentlemen, get out of that relationship or accept that you are an idiot. Oh, you didn't hear it. I will say it again. Get out of that relationship or accept that you are an idiot. IDIOT, idiot. Somebody who doesn't use their head well. If somebody or a group of people who you don't even have any legal agreement together is abusing you and you feel bad about it and you hang with them, you have a problem. You need help. And that's why we exist as your mentors. And we want to thank Uniport for allowing us to be here. Because you can reach out to us and say, hey, I'm stranded. How do I get out of this thing? I'm stuck. I don't like it. You can't persevere being a Kenyan, then persevere being in a relationship. It's terrible. You can't be persevering too many times. You are persevering all over. Number three, you need to know that a healthy relationship is mutual and not one-sided. You know, there are these relationships where there is the chaser and chasee. You know, chaser and chasee. Now, that may not be proper English, but it brings the concept, right? You know, from where one is chasing and the other one is being chased. It's not right. So that the relationship is one-sided. It is you who is ever pursuing you. In fact, the relationship is alive, courtesy of you. You are the reason why the relationship is alive. In fact, if you let go today, it's over. That's not a good relationship. A good relationship is a relationship where you are free to match out if you must match out. If it is not mutual, if it is not, balanced, a good relationship must be balanced. There must be a balance. There must be a balance. It must be mutual. I'm repeating this because this is the most common scenario. And let me tell you, friends, it is important that men spend time convincing women to be their friends. It's important. But you must allow yourself some wisdom that say, beyond this point, I cannot be desperate. It is important. Once the person has clearly said no, respect their decision. Because if you insist and they come in, you will understand why they said no, and it will be too late. It should not be one-sided. And normally what happens, and I will mention this in greater detail in a few minutes from now, is that when there is sexual engagement, if the man was chasing the lady, the moment sexual engagement happens, it changes. Now the woman chases the man because the man has scored what he wanted, and now the lady is desperate to keep what she has given, and now she begins chasing. If you reach that point, you accept that you have made a loss in this business and quit instead of engaging in the business of chasing. It is not healthy. Let me tell you, it is frustrating to know that the relationship is alive because of you and the other person is contributing zero. It's not fine. It will affect your studies, it will affect your health, it will affect your finances, it will affect everything about you. And like I told you, we are made of several aspects, but each affects the other. If you are frustrated where if I don't say good morning, I send a good morning text, the person will not send any. If I keep quiet for 3 days, they will keep quiet and have nothing to say. Then you are in a problem. If you are ever chasing the group and the group does not value you, that group of friends, you don't need them. That if you don't find out where they are, you will wake up in the morning, they left for town for lunch without calling you. You don't need that group, fellow. Smell the coffee and walk out. Number 4, a healthy relationship is not sexual or physical. This is difficult sometimes for university students because one of the freedoms they think they are rewarded for getting to the university is to engage in sex anyhow. You see, ladies and gentlemen, sex outside marriage is bad, not just because of religious beliefs. I don't know your religious beliefs. But psychologically, it's distracting. The nature of sex is that it is distracting. It distracts. You can't see. It's like you are driving and you can't see where you're going. It's distracting. You need to know that. The moment you engage in sex, the lady makes a commitment through sex that they will no longer evaluate the man whether he's good or bad. So the man is terrible by all standards. All neighbors know, all low-level unskilled workers know, the cleaners know, the groundsmen know, the parents know, except that person, because sex has distracted him. And a man gets distracted by sex. They no longer see the lady with their value. They either move on to another one or they stay to get free sex. That relationship is not healthy because after 2-3 episodes, you start realizing that, am I being used here? Oh, is this thing boring? Am I stuck here? And now at that point, what is being affected is your mind. Your mental well-being is affected. And so what happens when that person tries to relate with another person, you start having a feeling of entitlement. And so you want to fight anyone who wants to relate with her or with him. And in the process of the fight, We have a newspaper report. We have a news item. Either you are dead or you are a prisoner. A healthy relationship for free is not sexual. It's not a physical relationship. Do you know there are people whose relationship is only physical? They don't talk the whole day. They don't talk. In fact, it's a secret relationship. Nobody knows. They just text each other. Hi, where are you? I'm here. Okay, I'm coming. They arrive, close the door, the curtains are pulled, lights out, engage. Then after that, okay, you're okay. Yes, you still have a class. Okay, see you, bye. No talk, no nothing. Again, next time, hi. Are you available? Not available. Okay, what next? I will tell you. Okay, are you available? Yes, available. When? Tomorrow. My friend, what are you trying? What are you trying? What are you trying to achieve? You think you have a relationship there? You don't have a relationship. You could be participating in a research that only that there should be gynecologists and obstetricians taking notes, which may help academia. That's not a relationship. You can't claim that is a relationship. You ain't in any relationship. Number 5, a healthy relationship allows other aspects of your life to thrive. If a relationship is all you have and everything else is at the mercy of that relationship, then you are in a bad relationship. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. If somebody makes a phone call and you must remain on that call, even if you have a class, you say, oh, I have a class. Oh, no. And you must hang there on that call until the class ends. You are in a terrible relationship. You are not in a good relationship. If you are enslaved to the extent that other things cannot happen. Oh, I want to sleep now. Please, can I go to sleep? No. How can you leave me alone? You are in a dangerous relationship. If the wishes of a friend must be met by you, even when you are not comfortable, then there is a problem with that. It is not a healthy relationship. Now, let me see. It's like somebody had asked a question here. Somebody is saying here, but sir, the women of today, they will not accept a relationship once. What should we do there? Oh, I said there is an extent to which you can push a request. Yeah, we are saying that you don't request forever. It's good to make a request, but don't request for the rest of your life. Yeah, just there is an extent of time where you request. You say, okay, I will plead and plead and plead. After that, if it is not working, please, then call it a day. Call it a day. I don't know why you say even women are difficult. Guys, feel free to post your question. Okay, oh, sorry. When someone decide to keep his or her relationship private, is it also a secretive one? What is the private thing about? You understand? We are concerned where you make it secret. Because you see, when relationships are open, you belong to society and we are all one society. We help watch each other. What is the private thing about? What is the privacy? What is private? That the two of you are relating, where is the privacy? I mean, you are just relating. Why must it be private? There must be something wrong. There are things which are not private. It's like if somebody retreats from society and they stop going out of their room, all food is brought and what have you, they could be facing depression. We were created social, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's continue. We will come again and check for more questions. Now, number 6, I think, yeah, we are number 6. If you have seen red flags in a relationship of cheating or anger or threats and violence, the most healthy thing to do is quit as soon as possible before you become a news item. Do you know there are red flags? If there's cheating, that's a red flag. That means there is no commitment to you. There is no commitment to you. You are on your own. If there is anger, somebody who is demonstrating anger, you don't know how far that anger can go. God has shown you a sample so that you can project it for yourself. That's a red flag. If there are threats, if particularly threats, by the way, you know, Any threat to life is supposed to be reported to the police, because many threats to life eventually become a reality. And if there is violence, those are red flags. I'm telling you for free. And this one you should have paid for. I will not have said this until all of you M-Pesa me right away, but I will tell you for free, leave that relationship. Leave that relationship. Leave that relationship. At least, if you don't leave and eventually you get out of this life, at least we will remember that we told you, and we will not regret. We may spit in your grave because you didn't use your head. We are saying leave, because it's not good for your mental well-being. Number 7, a healthy relationship is one which you are in by choice and you can move out when you want. You see, friends, if you fear living because of loneliness, or people laughing at you, or lacking money, or being harmed or harming yourself, you are in slavery, and it's not a healthy relationship. If you are afraid of living, that if I leave, I will be lonely, then that means you are not in the relationship in a mutual way. You fear loneliness. So it is the fear of loneliness that's keeping you there. There is nothing mutual about you. You are enjoying nothing from the other person, and the other person is enjoying nothing from you. There is nothing mutual. You are in slavery. You are in slavery. If you fear people laughing at you, that, oh, now you are lonely, you are now living to the expectations of others. You are a slave to others. If you are in for money, then you are in a business. You are stuck to that business because of your daily needs. It's not a relation. It's not healthy. If when you sleep, it is not sitting nicely in your head, there is a problem with that relationship. You need to get out as soon as possible. Now, number 8 is a very interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. Number 8 is a very interesting one. If several close people have warned you about your relationship, they are right. If several close people have warned you about your relationship, they are right. They can't all be jealous for you. Jealous why? You think you are the first one to fall in love. We read Romeo and Juliet and others. If several close people have warned you about relationship, they are right. One, we may doubt, but when they get to 2, you need to be worried that they are right. When they get to 3, I assure you they are right. Do you know that when you are in love, you don't see yourself clearly? And those who are outside and close, they see exactly what is happening. And you may discover too late that they were right and that what they were seeing was correct. If several close people who have gathered courage to warn you about the relationship, I want to tell you they are right. I hope I've made that point clear. They are right. Number 9, a healthy relationship is tested by only one thing: communication. How do you test a healthy relationship? There is one critical thing called communication. If communication is one way, you see, communication is supposed to, from this one to this one, it comes, communication. Hi, how are you? Fine, two-way. If communication is one way, either fix it or quit. You only have 2 options. But most likely, if by now it has been that way for a while, quitting will be more possible and more healthy. If communication is animated anger all the time and nothing to look forward to, fix it or quit. If the communication is erratic and goes off for too long with excuses, good or otherwise, you are lonely, you are single, but you have not discovered, but you will discover that you're in a relationship with somebody. Today is Thursday, and you haven't talked since last weekend. You are in a relationship. You think you're in a relationship. You are in a relationship. You haven't talked since Sunday. you have not talked since Sunday. You are in a relationship. Kenyatta Day, Heroes Day, Mashujaa Day just passed. Nothing. You've checked your phone until you've given up on it. You think you are in a relationship. Let me tell you, I'm not a prophet, but you are not. You are in no relationship. You are single. Start searching. Then it comes once, oh, I'm busy. We were committed. Oh, there's this thing that came up. My friend, people create time for things that matter. People create time for things that matter. If time cannot be created for you, let me tell you, you are not in a good relationship. Whether with a group or with an individual, you are not in a good relationship. Communication must be two-way, respectful, and mutual. That's how communication is supposed to be. If it is not that way, yeah. So those of you who are taking too long, you send a hi this Thursday morning. Until now, your hi has not received a reply. If it makes it to 24 hours tomorrow, get a life. Are we together, friends? Just get a life. Hi. And you are waiting. Hi. Let me tell you, friends, you are not in a relationship. And the person only shows up when they want. They only appear in your life when they want. Communication must be two-way. Number 10, if you are working hard to have him or her, if you are putting a lot of effort to keep your friends to be your friends or your friend to be your friend, you are so desperately trying to fit in a group of friends. You know, every time you join the group of friends, they laugh at your necktie. You remove necktie, yet you love the neckties. Then they laugh at your hairstyle, so you start keeping hair to be like them. Let me tell you, my dear, you are not in a good relationship. In fact, they don't need you. That's why they keep adjusting the requirements. And so you are struggling to stay in. It's like you are playing a game. Every time you score, they tell you that's not where the goal was. Why did you shoot the ball there? The goal is not there. Then you work hard again, you shoot the goal this side, they tell you, why did you shoot there when you are about to celebrate? Let me tell you, you will never win. If you are working hard to stay with a group of friends, if you are working hard to keep a man, to keep a woman, you are so lonely, only that you are blind, but one day the blind will see. If you are doing things you don't want, to keep a group of friends or a friend, if you have to quit worship for him or her, if you have to give money, so that when the person calls you and says, hey, by the way, do you have some money? Do you have some money? And then you realize, I have some school fees, but you realize that if you don't give them, you may lose them. You send the money that you had just been sent. Let me tell you, my friend, you are single in a terrible way. You are so single. By the way, you need prayers. You may need even fasting at that rate. You are single. And then you are going around with a faith that you are in a relationship. If you have to accept trips, if you have to accept ill treatment, if you have to accept sexual engagement in order to keep the person, for heaven's sake, quit. And so the person says, send your nudes. Send your nudes, N-U-D-E-S, in case you don't know what nudes are. Pictures of you without any cloth. And then you wonder, what if it ends up in the internet? What if I'm exposed negatively? What happens? And let me tell you, your fears are right. If you must do it to keep the relationship, you are single in a bad way, and your fears will come true. And let me tell you, friends, once your nude pictures go online, you know, online doesn't forget. The internet world doesn't forget. It will always give you a degree of depression. Every time you think about it, it will give you a degree of depression. But you know how it began? It began with a slavery of wanting to please somebody. Your social wellness is in a relationship where you are not struggling to keep, where you can tell the person, hey, I don't even take nude pictures for myself. I don't. Leave alone for you, for myself. I don't. and the relationship should still be able to survive that. But if you must be cornered to produce nudes to keep a relationship which does not even have cows exchanging, parents meeting, and what have you, you are exposing yourself to sharks. In fact, in future, after you are employed and settled down and you are running for MCA, they will tell you, send us 100,000 or we release to the media. And you'll be stuck. And you know where it begins? Always where you are desperate to keep the relationship. That's why we are saying, do not work hard to maintain a relationship, because when you work hard, that means somebody else is not putting effort. You should enjoy being in a relationship. That's why when you choose your courses at the university, you choose what you are comfortable to pursue. Because you are not comfortable to pursue anything. There are many of you who have no idea anything in mathematics or history or whatever. So you don't go there. You go where you are comfortable. It's the nature of life. That's why somebody said water must find its level. If the ground is not level, water will keep flowing until it finds its level. Be like water. Keep flowing until you find your level of friends. Be like water. Keep flowing until you find your level of friends. Otherwise, there is no use for water trying to stop down the slope. Can you imagine how much effort water will put to stop down the slope? And that's what some of us are doing in relationship. We are struggling to stop down the slope. Well, let's see if there's a question here. Let's see if anyone... Okay, somebody's asking here, the one I'm seeing at the bottom, what should be the length of a healthy relationship dating? Since personally I can't communicate for more than 2 years when the queen tells me to keep waiting. Now, first of all, if you are thinking marriage, I was just talking about relationship, but if you are thinking marriage, you need to date somebody reasonably enough to know them and to guess their most probable course of action. And that cannot be done in 2 weeks, 3 months. You must let the heat cool down. You see, when you buy a new phone, do you know how many times you touch it? You keep touching it, you keep touching it. But a time comes when the phone is so old, you don't even remember where you kept it. It falls down, you pick it without even blinking. But if it's a new phone, you say, my phone, I just bought it. Listen, everything that is new comes with excitement. You need to date until that excitement of new comes down. When that excitement of new comes down, you can give it the best evaluation, whether to proceed into marriage or not. And it has been said approximately 2 years, 1.5 years will always make sense. That's what has been said. But for now, if you are still at the university, stop thinking about marriage, just think relationship. You will upgrade those friends into marriage in future. But for now, no. But if you feel you are in a rush, you can rush. We who are sociologists and social scientists will study your failing relationship and advise others in future. I mean, there is always good material to study. Those who can't follow advice, we will always study them. There is no harm. But for now, you are in school, there is no business marrying and you know what have you. Another one is saying, a time you can get a girl who is only interested in sexual matter, of which if you cannot provide that, she will be there out, but not free. What should we do in that case? If she wants sex, then let her find sex. Are you interested in relationship or offering sex? Are you in a company that provides sex to those who need? I mean, the person says, I want sex, you want a relationship. The two of you don't want the same thing. You have gone to a shop and say, do you have screwdrivers? They say, no, we have unga. Then you say, thank you. You walk away, simple. I'm looking for a relationship. I'm looking for a friend. We can sit and talk. We can laugh. We can chat. We can interact. And she wants sex. Then the two of you don't want the same thing. You don't have anything to this. Why are you even talking about her? Move on. The daughters of Eve are many. See, you cut the relationship simple. I don't know what that means. You are talking about not keeping our relationship a secret, but our parents can know this relationship and later it fails. How will you explain to them that it didn't work? Now, what do you tell your parents? I mean, you report to your parents that this is my friend, full stop. You have not said this is my husband, this is my wife, this is my friend, and let it end there. Let them know that this is a friend. And the friends come and go. They say, where is that friend? Oh, the friend moved on. I have another friend. Yeah, that's it. Now,
maybe I can ask
yes.
one of the questions that was asked earlier. One is asking a question on behalf of their friends. It's with regards to keeping the relationship secret. So they're asking if someone is keeping the relationship secret because of work, or if they work as secret investigators. Is that healthy, or that also falls under unhealthy relationships?
Did I understand what about work?
Yeah, so if someone works as a CID or a private investigator and they want to keep their relationship secret because of the nature of their work, so does that fall under healthy or unhealthy relationships? And they're very clear that they're asking on behalf of someone.
Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have so many people who are working in those government organizations. It's not that you will be the first one working there. You don't expose your family to your work. When I do my work, I don't bring my family. I didn't begin this meeting by parading my family. But really, my family is not secret. You understand what you are saying? But you just draw a demarcation. We don't see the president's children all over the place all the time. We don't even know where they are. Where are they shopping? What are they eating? It's not really secret, but is that they're living another life and the president is living a different life in public as a president. So that is different from where you are deliberately making sure that nobody knows the two of you are relating. You see, when you are dealing with work, it's a different thing altogether. But when you are trying to make sure that nobody knows you are relating, then there could be something you are hiding. And by the way, your conscience will always tell you. Could there be another question I've missed, please?
Quickly skimming through.
But a question, sir.
Yes, Abraham, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a question I posted up there about what if perhaps, because I heard the doctor is saying that it is very wise to give the introduction, not to keep your relationship secret. What if perhaps you introduce this lady to a particular friends of yours, after a short period of time, they vacate, leaving you behind, you introduce another one. After that, you introduce another one. See, you will become a prostitute. It is wise to keep it for some little while so that you...
Not all friends are introduced at home, but they are not secret. I don't know if you got what I said. When I say secret, it doesn't mean that the opposite is everyone you meet today. Hi, hello, mom, hello, dad. I have a new friend I met today. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that if the two of you, the way you are relating is even secret to your friends, is secret to your community, your campus community. When your brothers and sisters come, you say, no, my brother is coming today, my sister is coming today, let's not meet. No, then that's a secret. I mean, how many friends do we have? You may bump into me in town with somebody and I'll tell you, hey, this is my friend, and I will tell you their name. But that doesn't mean that there is anything beyond that between the friends. And if anything comes up, it shall be. So when we say about keeping it secret, we are saying that when there is a deliberate desire between the two of you to keep it secret, there is a problem. I hope I'm clear. But otherwise, we don't introduce to our parents all friends. No. Even male friends, I'm just talking even about gangs, not just a marriage partner. Even the gang of friends you have, if you are shy to talk about them, there could be a problem about them. Yeah. I hope we didn't leave any question out.
Another question that has just come in.
Yes.
How can you advise ladies who get pregnant in such unhealthy relationships? Sometimes they may want to walk away, but they are stuck because there's a child in between.
Studies have been done by sociologists and psychologists and concluded that you should not marry because of a child. A child can be brought up. A child can be brought up. Of course, it is not good to bring up children without both parents, but it is better than a child comes into a relationship where the parents are not at peace. It will ruin the child much more. You know, the moment there is pregnancy, the two of you should not discuss marriage until the child is born and is 1 year old. And most likely you will not be thinking the same way. So it is important for the lady to accept that God has granted her a child and reorganize her life so that she accepts the child and moves on and doesn't pour her bitterness on the child. Yeah, it's very important. Otherwise, marrying because of a child, the taste will be gone. You will live a difficult life after that. Yeah.
That's powerful, doctor. That's why you are a doctor.
Now, can we continue, Madam CEO? We have a few minutes.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. You want to protest the continuing? Tell us.
There is a question here, sir.
Moses, ask, you are muted.
Yes, I'm asking that you said that if you're in a relationship, it must be a free relationship that you can walk in, or a relationship that you can move out anytime you want. So I'm asking, there are times that you fell apart, as in you disagreed with the partner that you have in that relationship. Then she saw it wise to come back again and at least you made things together. Is it healthy for you to accept her back, or if she comes, just tell her that the way you walked out, just go and go?
When somebody walks out, that means you could not agree on mending it. Number one. So what has changed? Number two is that every time you come back on a weaker position. Let me give an example. You come to my shop and I tell you, I'm selling this phone at 1,000. And then you say, no, I can't buy that phone at 1,000. I ask you, how much do you have? Say no. Then you walk away and I see you going to the next shop. You discover it's 5,000. Then you come and say, can I buy it now? I have 900. It will be more difficult for you dealing with me after you have been stopped the other side. Always when you come back at a weaker position. I want you to notice that. So this business of going out, coming back, you come back more a slave. In fact, what will happen is that it will no longer be a healthy relationship, because the other one will be reminding you and say, oh, by the way, you left the other time, you want to leave again? It will not be a healthy relationship. So in order to have a healthy relationship, learn to resolve issues so that if you are surely convinced that this one cannot be resolved, when you go, you are gone. When you go, you are gone. So that you don't do this going, coming back, because eventually you look, even in marriages where, where we used to have this thing where a lady parks, goes to her home, then comes back, then it will happen so many times. It's not healthy. It's not a good thing. It's not recommended. So if the person comes, maybe the two of you are not mature enough, you need to sit and talk and say, please, the way of solving issues is not leaving. We are adults. We face the issue. We address the issue. That's how it's supposed to be. But if you cannot do that, then coming back will not resolve it, because I'm the same person you are to talk to anyway when you come back. So if you couldn't talk to me last month, why are you coming back? Is it possible you are coming back after discovering that nobody else likes you? So is it possible you are coming back because you are actually a reject out there and you are looking for somebody to accommodate that which is rejected? I'm not handling rejects. I think the point is clear. Okay, let's proceed. The best treat to social wellness is to know when to end bad relationships. I think the biggest challenge that has proved out here is that people don't know how to end bad relationships. And I will just want to give a quick idea on how to end the bad relationship, then we can end in the next few minutes. The first one is that sit down and evaluate your friendships, either with a group of people or with an individual. Then write down reasons why you like it or why you don't like it. The second one is, if you have enough reasons, then discuss with your friend or friends and say, by the way, these are my reasons why I'm not comfortable around here. Maybe you have a group of friends who are ever demanding money. Let's collect 10K to do this. Let's collect 1K to do this. Let's collect this. Eventually you tell them, listen, guys, I don't make money. I don't have money. I don't have money to do these many things you are saying. Either we change our activities to require less money or no money, or I'm not able to stay. Discuss with them. If they can't change it, then quit that group of friends. Kelvin, I've seen your hand. We'll come to you. Quit that group of friends. You don't need to stay. Maybe you have a friend whose demands or who is abusive verbally. You need, after you have assessed it, let the friend know and say, listen, I'm tired of verbal abuse. Are you able to stop? Discuss it. Then after discussing, either agree to end the relationship or give the relationship time to see whether there is improvement. Say, let's observe in the next 3 months. If the same problem recurs, then you have to do the final thing. What is the final thing to do? Call the person. Call the person. And that's how we do it. Call the person and tell the person, call them in a public place where you can take off in case they get wild, and just tell them, listen, because of the following reasons that we had discussed 3 months ago, 6 months ago, I think it's no longer healthy for the two of us to relate. And normally, always we say that to make breakup easy, you blame yourself. Because if you blame the other person, they will want to defend themselves and they will want to be heard. So don't blame them, blame yourself. That makes it easy. Remember, at this time, it is you who wants out, not them. So when you blame them, oh, what will follow, you will not like it. It will be huge. So blame yourself and say, it seems I'm the one who is a little sensitive to your speeches and I deem them as verbal abuse. I think I'm not getting it. So I think let me allow you to move on, and I move on with life. That is important. That is important. And once you do that, get out. Now, what you need to make clear every time there is a breakup, when you are breaking up, make clear that there will be no communication. Even if you call me that your house is on fire, I will not come to put off the fire. Call the fire station, call the police, call the medical, but don't call me. Because a relationship is not over where there is communication. Otherwise, you'll have these suckers where you break up on Friday, on Sunday you are together. You break up on Wednesday, on Friday you are together. So you have a whole circus until you are disappointed with yourself because you can't even keep your own word in breaking up. So you need to say communication will be broken, and break it from that time. You can even buy a new number. The best way is to maintain the same number. The person sends a message, don't reply. Says, can we talk? You can't talk after the final breakup. There is no talking. What kind of talking? Oh, we are Christians, let's meet and pray. No, go pray in your church. I will pray where I come from. Now, what will follow? Listen, what will follow after a few days, the person will get verbally violent. When the person realizes that you mean business, they will hurl abuse. They will hurl abuse to provoke you, because they know the moment you start exchanging, the relationship is back to life. Don't respond. Then when eventually they go quiet for 2 days, 3 days, you will panic. I want you to know, you will panic. You'll say, huh? It's real. I've been left. No, it's true, it's broken. Or maybe did I make a bad decision? That is a normal feeling you will feel. You will feel it for a week or so. But stay strong. You made this decision consciously. For many people, 1 week, 2 weeks, they are over it and they move on. For others, 3 weeks, 1 month, they move on. But generally, it will take 3 months to completely heal and for you to be ready to relate with somebody else. Break the communication totally if you really mean to break it. Sometimes you may even need to move houses, change padlocks, and what have you. If there are people who need their property, send their property back. That will be healthy for you, other than for you staying in a bad relationship and becoming statistics. Then we read it in the news. Now, allow me just to mention as I end that for sober mental well-being, we must accept success and failure as part of life. You cannot be mentally okay if you have never accepted failure as part of life. If you accept failure as part of life, it will disappoint you less. I'm not just talking about academic failure. Even socially, you can fail. So that you can find yourself at 27 having never dated anyone seriously. Accept failure as part of life. Don't blame yourself. Everyone fails. Only that majority of the people project a false image of success. Accept success and failure as part of life. When you fail, it is no more. Learn to speak out your feelings. Have people you can talk to how you feel. Every time you speak about what you feel, it eases the pressure. The pressure eases. Please learn to speak out. Even when you feel like killing yourself, speak it out. Pray about it. That spirit must be kicked out. Avoid drug abuse, which can push your threshold of mental resilience. Drug abuse is very dangerous. In fact, today, you are most likely to be a failure, not because of lack of jobs, but because you are so high that you can't be employed, you can't do anything meaningful. At the university, we get the best of minds from secondary school. But those who have really been ruined at the university are those who are on drug abuse. It's not even lack of money, drug abuse. I'm telling you, friends, for free, before you get addicted. And one day, Madam CEO, I'll one day bring a friend of mine who dropped out of the university because of marijuana, bang, and alcohol. He's struggling. The family left him. He's been left behind. He's in debt. He's growing old and nothing moving. And he says he began as a game. The drinking was a game and smoking was a game. Now it's not a game. He needs it or he dies. Maybe someday we will need to bring people here so that you see them for yourself. It is a dangerous trend to get into drug abuse. And I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, that do your best. Normally, when you work hard and exert your muscle, you sleep well. When you read very well and you work out very well, you sleep deeply. And sleep is good for mental well-being. At your age, you should start weaning off movies and let the younger ones watch movies. Start dealing with the reality. Maybe I'll stop here for today. I mean, we can't say everything for the rest of, of the day. Yeah. Now let's see. Is there any question there? Kelvin had a question. Kelvin Nyagancha. Kelvin, maybe ask your question.
Yes, Pastor. Thank you for the session. I had a question on, I think, point number 8. You talked about if 3 or 4 people warn you about someone. So I just wanted to know, like, what's this warning based on? Because sometimes like people can be in a situation whereby the warning is based on prejudice, maybe tribal background and things like that. Now, should you heed to such warnings that are based on quote unquote superficial thing? Because sometimes you can agree with someone, you can even pray about it as a Christian and things like that. But to get hitches where the hitches are based that on social profiling, economic profiling, and maybe tribal prejudices and things like that. So should you heed to such warnings, or should you go with instincts, or now what do you do in such a?
Yeah, when you are warned about something, I said by several people, not by one person, then that means there could be something that you need to consider. It doesn't mean directly that you break up. I just said if you are warned, just know that they are right. If several people say the same thing, either you are the problem or the other person is a problem. If they keep reminding you, telling you, do you think you can live with somebody of that tribe? Maybe they know something about you because your parents told you. That's one group. Then a friend from distant heard about your relationship, told you. Then another independent person told you. You cannot ignore what three people who are close to you and who have courage to speak to you. Now, we are not saying that you agree with what you are saying, but we are saying that after you hear them, make an assessment on the way forward. Make an assessment, but it is something worth considering that they could have spoken to you.
Sawa, Pastor. That's well in.
Okay, thank you, Kelvin. There was a question back here. A guy or lady dating more than one person for some reasons. What's your say about it?
Dating more than one person? A lady. Now, maybe, I don't know the definition of dating, but one day we will come and talk about the difference between dating, courtship, engagement, marriage. Those things are different. Now, when it comes to dating, I mean, you can date anyone, you understand? Dating is where you agree to meet and talk, then you assess each other, whether it can work, then you have another date. If you think it's okay, then now the dating moves into courtship. So at dating level, you can date several people because you can have lunch with this one today and tomorrow watch a movie with another one. That is dating. Only that sometimes our definition of dating is that we are officially going out as boyfriend and girlfriend. That is not dating. That is now courtship. Yeah. So if it is courtship, you cannot have courtship with more than one person. Indeed, what are you trying? But if it's just dating, that means when you are dating, you have no commitment to anyone. So if you date this one today, another one next week, you have no commitment. You are just weighing them out. And by the way, you should not date anyone more than 3 times because society is watching. We see you 3 times with somebody, we conclude something is going on. Then 3 times with another one. Hey, your behavior is now getting funny. That's why the first date must be critical enough to assess. But like we said, that we will say that in detail another day. I see there is Mercy, there is Brian Mungala raising their hands. Maybe we be ladies first.
Okay, we can get through the questions on the chat box, and then we can come to you, Mercy, and then Brian, in that order. Okay, so if you've discovered that the relationship is not working and you now want to walk away, and the other party is not ready to end the relationship, what will you do?
That means you are a slave. You want to end the relationship, but the other person is not ready to end the relationship. That's why I told you there is a way of ending relationship. You blame yourself and say I am no longer able to relate with you. I am the problem. I can't even communicate. I can't make phone calls. I can't sleep. I'm going mad. Please allow me time. Let me go. So when you do that, nobody will stick to you and say, you stay. No. But when you go and make it like a discussion, let me tell you, no one likes breakup. Hey, what do you think? Should we break up? I'm feeling like this. What are you thinking? Oh, it's not ending anytime soon. You will suffer mental anguish. It's not going nowhere. Yeah.
In church, we are told not to have intercourse before marriage. What will I do if my partner wants to have it?
Say no. Because if you say no, it will determine if that's all they came for. You see, one thing that really needs to expose us is what we came for. You know, if somebody asks me for money and I say I don't have it, then they never talk to me or pick my calls. That means they wanted my money. It's not me they are interested in. So I'm glad. Good riddance. Get out of here. Yeah. If all you need is sex, I mean, there's sex all over the country if you wanted it for free. Yeah. So don't agree to that. Another one.
Thank you. What are main traits considered before one enters a healthy stroke serious relationship in our campuses as of today, please?
Yeah, I've mentioned 10 ways to assess a healthy relationship so that you tell you have a feel yourself. Is this thing okay? How are you feeling? You understand? Is it allowing you to study? Are you feeling free about it? It is very important. And so the best way to begin is that just have general friends, people, hi, exchange phone numbers, text, that's okay. Let me tell you, the relationship progresses when you start discussing sexual issues and you have not had any serious commitment. So just be hi, fine. How was the class? Yes. Did you watch the president speaking? Yes. Did you? Oh, yeah. That is the level of the relationship that should be. Then after that, you assess each other. It takes time, by the way, to identify, and a good friend will just stand out of the rest. So that's the best way to begin. At the campus, it's not a place where you start a serious hunt for a husband or a wife. You are looking around. No, not that one. No, that's not how you go about it.
Okay, so maybe you mentioned this, but you can quickly address it again. Now, in this case of breaking up with someone, how long should you take before beginning another relationship?
I mentioned 3 months is normally time. They say that we form habits after 66 days to 90 days. So you must form a new habit without your past person. Remember, you had a habit of hi, good morning, I love you, and what have you. So that habit must be deleted, where you now operate as a new person. 66 to 90 days. So we say 3 months. After 3 months, you have really learned to live without the other person. Now a new person can come to your life. Or else you will be with this new person and say, my ex wouldn't have liked that, or my ex this, my ex that, my ex the other one, and the person will run for their dear life because you are suffering from your ex, like mathematicians who are ever finding their exes.
Dr. Kesis leo umechomulia. Okay, sawa. All right, so Martha is asking, kindly discuss about emotional entanglement in friendship.
Now, friendship is supposed to be general. But when emotional entanglement comes, entanglement first is a word that was used by some celebrities who broke up, and then the lady ended up dating somebody who the husband and wife had brought in to assist. I've just forgotten their names. So eventually when the media was asking, they say, what is this? They just say it's entanglement. I mean, how do you explain this thing where husband and wife brought in a person to assist him, then wife falls in love with the person who was brought after they break up and now wants to come back to the husband? How do you explain? They're entangled. Now, entanglement comes when you are not careful with your emotional commitment. So you are in a group of friends, then you commit emotionally, and then again you commit emotionally to somebody else. Now you are emotionally committed to more than one person, and you are in the same group of friends, or even if you are not in the same group of friends, and now you are entangled. Mashujaa Day comes, you are not sure who to see. Weekend comes, you are not sure who to spend time with. You are totally entangled. You are in trouble. You must sit down and be, look at the two and call off one. Yeah, so that you are not entangled. Or else your mental health will suffer.
Okay, so there's a deep question here. What can a lady do when she gets married with a baby from a previous relationship and discover that the biological dad is doing everything possible to get near the child, yet the husband loves and takes good care of the baby?
Now, you cannot separate. When you marry somebody who has a child, you must have a discussion on how the father of that child will be involved in this relationship. Sometimes the law gives providence of how regularly the father will access the child. That must be agreed before you move into a relationship. And there are many arrangements that are made that the father can access the child, can provide for the child, so that it does not interfere with your relationship. For example, the father will be told that you can only call and speak to your child between 6 and 7 in the evening. Full stop. because the mother is in a new relationship. Or if you want to see your child, you'll only be able to see your child once a fortnight on a Sunday at 2 o'clock at a park, where this wife will come with the husband will sit in the car, and the child will be brought. You will see the child, interact with the child, return. The law allows that. Otherwise, anything else, you may be entangled. Because, old fires are dangerous. They have a way, they can easily come back, and you find yourself in a situation that is only in movies.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for your comments, guys. Brian, we're glad that you've been enlightened. So there is a request to have another session with you, Dr. Kesis, to talk about social life in general. So maybe you can plan for that, and then we can agree on the dates. And then please come up for this session once again next week. You still have more to share that we need. Yes, our public demand. All right. Is there anyone who has a question? Oh, Marcy, you had raised your hand. Please go ahead.
And then Brian.
Yes, and then Brian.
Okay. Asking if the level of between the two can affect the relationship. For example, you went to the university and the other party did not go. He or she finished in the secondary high school. Can that affect your relationship at large?
Yeah, your level of education, of course, affects the relationship, because education changes. Education is a process where you are changed in your thinking, your reasoning, and what have you. I have seen such relationship, and I can't mention here because I've interacted with so many people. Some are confidential, but it works with the difficulty. Eventually, it ends. Where one person has so high education and another one is below, it's difficult. It's difficult because they can't talk, they can't discuss, and eventually they can't even take you to their circle of friends. I mean, if I'm having a meeting with other lecturers, we are having an outing December, and they are coming with their spouses, there will be a lot of English being discussed, and there will be a lot of what. Then here you have a spouse who every time English is spoken feels offended. you can imagine the situation. So after a while, you may be tempted to find another spouse who will fit this other side, and at that moment you have started cheating. Level of education is just critical, because education changes who you are and how you relate with people. And by the way, next time, if Madam CEO allows us, you need to understand that men date downwards and ladies date upwards. That's very critical. And even particularly in matters delay and what have you, which we can talk about maybe another time, God willing. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Marcy, for your question. Brian, are you still in the session? Do you want to unmute and ask your question?
Hello.
Hi, Brian. Go ahead.
I was just this point of addition, then a question after.
Okay.
There's this point that touched me so much. That is number 8. But in addition, forming a relationship, I think the best thing to do is first start with God. There's this song that I like so much that talks about anywhere with Jesus, I can safely go. So if we form a relationship with God, then I think most of our deeds in a relationship will be perfect. Then there is this question that if someone has been to a relationship so many times and has failed, then maybe you are the one destined to restore him or her from a relationship, from bad habits in a relationship. How can pastor address this? Can you leave the person, or from godly perspective, what can you do?
Brian says he has a mission to restore the person. The people who restore people are not mates in a relationship. They are counselors, they are pastors, they are parents, they are, church leaders. That's our business now, to restore somebody. When you come and say, hey, you come and say, hey, I've been in too many relationships, I need to be restored. But you don't say, let me date this one to restore them from bad relationships. Dating is not a restoration process. So please don't use dating to restore anyone. If somebody needs a restoration, direct them to a counselor. And this country has got so many counselors strewn all over. Religious leaders, many of them are trained counselors. And so they can help. But please don't use a relationship to save anyone. It doesn't save. You will need salvation yourself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kesis. When I first shared the poster about you hosting the session and being the speaker of the session, there was a lot of noise and excitement from the Baraton group, and we didn't understand why. I'm sure, they're used to interacting with you, so tukasema, and now we've had this session, and we're also excited, and we're grateful that you're able to join in, and we definitely look forward to having you. We hope we can host you even before the year ends to address more of the social issues that our students are facing. So there's another question that has just come in from, let me scroll up, from Wilfrida.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wilfrida, can you just unmute and ask your question? It's quite long, so you can summarize it for us. Sorry.
Okay, my question is, can someone's course also affect a relationship? Like yesterday, I was talking to a friend of mine who graduated from our school. He did the same course as mine, that was biochemistry. And he was telling me that dating someone who did a course maybe in business, like, it's difficult. Because most of the time, many people know, and it's true, most of the time, sisi watu wa science courses, we are always occupied, like, tuko busy throughout than our watu wa business. So he was telling me and arguing like this, that now, for example, I'm a lady, I'm taking a business course, I'm taking a science course, I can't date a man taking a business course because this man may see that namlenga, yet I have many classes. That's why na siwezi kuwa available, siwezi kuwa na yeye most of the time. So I was asking, to clarify kama course inaweza affect dating na relationship. Yeah.
Now, that has not been assessed. I don't have any findings on that, but what I know is that some job requirements will affect a relationship. If you are dating a nurse or a medical doctor who must work out at night, who must attend to emergencies, that relationship is not the same. You must make a commitment that you will live with that. If you marry a soldier, KDF, who may go to Somalia on a tour of duty for 1 year, you must make a commitment. And then some jobs where there are regular transfers, we are not saying that they cannot be dated, but you must be awake to the reality of who you are dating. If you date a politician, for example, who in the media they will be attacked, abused by their opponents, if you cannot handle that, you will get blood pressure. When every day your husband or wife is a butt of all jokes in the media and social media and what have you. So there are certain professions, because of the pressure that comes with it, you must be conscious to make a decision that, am I living with this one or not? That will be critical. Otherwise, I don't think there's been, I've seen people marrying across from the schools. I've seen business people actually end up with the scientists and what have you. And it works if they are aware and in commitment. If you marry a teacher, you must also understand how teachers work. So you must understand everyone. If you marry a business person who will always be on business trips, you must also understand that and accept it. Thank you so much.
All right, so there are 3 last questions we'll take, and then we'll end the session for today. So I'll take them in this order. Marcy, Moses, and then Janet from Uniport will ask her questions and give us the closing remarks. All right, Marcy, go ahead.
if you are can affect your, maybe you are an Adventist and the other person is Catholic, and you see there are some differences there. So can it work, or it will it affect?
I didn't hear the other part of the question, but I think she's talking about religious difference. Now, religion is a commitment. And let me say that two Catholics can even be different. There's a Catholic who only attends Catholic church on Christmas, and there's another Catholic who never misses Mass. Those two Catholics are not the same. If they live together, that difference may play out. So it is important that you are not just of the same faith, but of the same degree of commitment, so that your children are not brought up in confusion, or so that you don't have to conflict, because people love religion. Let me tell you something. People don't easily die for politics the way they die for religion. In fact, history shows that more battles have been fought for religion than have been fought for any other thing. So don't take religion lightly and say, we can handle it. If people can die for religion, handle with care. That's all I can say. Handle with care. There are other hands. Are those hands waving goodbye, or they're asking questions?
Maswali bado yako daktari. So Moses, we'll come to you, then Janet.
Thank you. This is my last question. In points of communication, the doctor says that a relationship should have a communication. But at times you can find that you have a third distance relationship, then the one party just muted the mic. You don't know what is happening, but when you call, or at times you find yourself connecting with her or him, you'll find that you are just talking normally, but after that, the mic is muted again. So should we leave this relationship, or you just give her time that when you will be coming closer, you'll have to discuss the same, or how can we handle that situation?
Distance must be definite, by the way. When it comes to relationship, distance must be definite. You cannot be on permanent. Somebody went on a green card to Australia. You are a second year in Kenya. You are even struggling to pay fee. You don't even have transport to Nairobi. And you are in this relationship. You don't have even airtime to call. Let me tell you, nature abhors a vacuum. And that vacuum will be filled. So it is important, ladies and gentlemen, to be careful about distant relationships. They are not safe. Distant relationships are not safe. If it is distant for a short time, your fiancé has gone to Germany for a 6 months course, it makes sense. But they have gone for good. They don't know when they'll come back. If nobody even in their home knows when they will come back. Here you are. You don't even have a passport, even the travel permit just to walk across to Uganda or Tanzania. I will advise you to eat locally. Then when
Amen.
then this issue when there is a lot of muting. If there is a lot of muting in a relationship, please, it's not healthy. Another question, Madam CEO.
Dr. Kesis, you're very brutal with us this evening. Sawa. Janet, over to you.
Hi, Dr. Kesis. I have very many questions. I wish you'd come back as the students are requesting. Some of them I'm asking because I do not have much experience, but with the time I have learned that they are very vital. Mm-hmm. So my first question or concern that you talk to all the gentlemen on this. A number of times, ladies get pregnant, are impregnated by them in school. And what we've had happen over the years is they walk away, abandon those children, and forget about it, go on with their lives like nothing is happening. So what could be the dangers of developing such habits right now, because I believe they're the same ones who still get married and then move to another person and leave the babies here. So what would you help them to, or how would you help them understand that they can still be morally upright, and even in case a baby comes, they don't have to follow what other people have been doing, because it's an abnormal thing, but Kenyans and the guys in campus are normalizing it, so it becomes normal. You move on with your life like just life is normal. And also to the ladies, just further emphasis that of course a baby while you're still in school is a permanent disruption, unless you are ready for it. Of course you're not, because you still cannot even get money to feed yourself. So just an advice for this group, that in their associations and in their relationships, they may know how to relate with one another and avoid unnecessary responsibilities. A baby is a huge responsibility, so you can talk on that. And then something else, I think it's Brian who mentioned that he can help someone to overcome something that they are dealing with. I think you can also touch on the importance as an individual of healing your past wounds before going on to relating with somebody else. And this is not just about man-woman relationship, but I believe it affects everyone in the manner in which they relate with everybody in their lives. So you can talk about that. And also in connection to that, you can just maybe tell Brian and the rest if it is really possible that you can help someone heal those wounds. I think you can tackle those, then I'll ask a few more, then we can close.
Wow. You have asked the questions. I'm now trying to remember where you began. The issue of pregnancy. The gentlemen will go as if they don't remember, but they know where their children are. They are only behaving like they don't remember because they don't want the responsibility. But sometimes life turns out dangerously, that the children you reject, God favors them to become excellent. And then the children who take advantage of you with another wife and the other ones suffer because of them, eventually what happens is that they don't make it. And eventually you will need this child you have rejected, and it will come in bitterness. It is important that take responsibility. Even when you have nothing, the whole world knows you are broke, but at least you have acknowledged your child. It is important. By the way, it can affect your mental health when eventually you are of age and now you discover your current children are not, things are not adding up. Then you hear that you had another child who another man has brought up and has become a great person. It will not be the same. It will affect you significantly. That's what I can say. It will affect you significantly. And your mental health, when you are old, will no longer be the same. So, gentlemen, you may think you have run away scot-free without the pregnancy, but I want you to know that your brain will be pregnant for the rest of your life. The lady will be pregnant for 9 months. You will be pregnant in your head for the rest of your life. You will remember that. You cannot forget your own child. Now, the second thing about the ladies, when I was in standard 6 many years ago, we were taught about the cycle that ladies have. In standard 6, we were taught about safe days. We were taught even about family planning, standard 6. If up to university you have not gotten it, most likely you may not even get what life is about. I think those are the basics where you are supposed to begin. Number 2, we have said that sexual commitment is very serious commitment. Is very serious commitment. You can't just engage sex with anyone anyhow. And this only safe sex that is recommended religiously is in marriage. Any other, you are on your own. You are not with God or gods. You are on your own. So please, ladies, I will advise you that you have a whole cycle which you can be taught. If you have no idea, even online, they give you free. There are even apps which can track your dates and warn you. The apps are there, free, to educate you. Because we can't keep having children who are brought up with one parent and they are brought up struggling simply because the mother at some point entertained foolishness. No, it's not right. It's not right. I think, and then the issue of helping. You cannot help somebody if you are emotionally attached. You see, in the field of counseling, there's something we call transference. Transference is when my client has emotional attachment to me. And then counter-transference is when I, in turn, develop emotional attachment with my client. And immediately we are told as counselors that the moment transference and counter-transference takes place, you can no longer counsel or help the person. You refer that person to another counselor. Because once emotions come in, you lose the ability to assist the person. Professional distance, dead. So please, we are not able to assist people if we are emotionally involved with them. We cannot assist them. And so another thing is that let's learn to stand up on our feet. But when you need help, please don't mind asking help. Go for people who are older than you. Either in a society, teachers will be there, parents will be there. Good church leaders. Some church leaders are prey. You go there and they will chew you again. So you need to be careful who you go to assess. If you find the person is also a hyena, you are going for healing, but you're about to be eaten, take off for your life. Yeah, so you must know when you need help and when you can handle yourself. But your capacity to handle yourself is important. But don't relate with someone to assist them. That one doesn't work. It has never been proven to work. You can only help when you are at a safe distance where you tell somebody, no, that's foolish, stop that, do this, do that. But when you are involved, you become part of the problem.
All right. Thank you, Dr. for handling that. So maybe you may not have enough time to address this, but to the students, a number of us are so much into relationship after breakup, what do I move on to next? We wonder, when do you study? When do you do your assignments? So a few tips on what they can work on right now to prepare them for the right time when they are really ready to date for a relationship that would lead to something substantial, and not just for campus for 3 months and then they're on to something else for another 6 months and then on to something else for another 6 months. And then also you can maybe help us understand the importance of character development that can help people thrive in their career, in their academics right now, and also in the relationships that they want to have with anyone, really.
Now, character development is a huge topic. If we try anything now, it's a whole forest we will not dare enter. But I will say that your character is what adds value to your product. You see, when you go through school, you become a product. And so as you sell yourself to the job market, to people and what have you, what really people see as package and that adds value, that makes a difference, is your character. So it is important to understand that people are not the same. All men have got the same physical features. All women have the same physical features, but they don't carry the same character. They are not packaged the same way. So I would recommend that we need to check on our character. And maybe another day, God willing, it can be a major subject of discussion about character development. Now, for you just to prepare for the future, it is important to focus on your studies. In future, you will need a husband. In future, you will need a wife under normal circumstances. It is good to pick that wife, that husband from a pool of people who are already friends. That way, you make a safer guess of a safe person to relate with. But when you just wait, then you say, oh, I think I'm of the age. I now need a husband. And you start searching a husband. Then you have a checklist. You're saying this, that. You know what you will end up is you will end up employing somebody as husband or employ somebody as wife because you went through the checklist. And actually the person will be perfect. But when you get home, you discover you are not friends. So you watch news and say, hey, come and see this news item. Then they tell you, you don't have something else to do. Then you discover, what did I bring home here? It's because the two of you may be fit for each other, but you are not friends. You're not friends. So it is important now while at the university, just focus on having friends here and there. And let me tell you, friendship is natural. Just have friends here and there. One can get a little serious, then, tone it down as you make your studies a priority. What I said during the presentation is that finding a balance is critical. Finding a balance. If you are in church, you don't start discussing your studies because you know how to find a balance. Yeah, I'm in church. And you focus on church. When you are in school, focus on studies, give it a higher percentage, but balance the others. One sad thing, and I was mentioning it to one student today who informed me that she's finishing school this semester, but she has never dated anyone. And I told her it's not an achievement. It's not an achievement because in the future, that thing will bite you. It will bite you because as you go up as a lady, you date upwards. But as you go up academically, when you get a bachelor's degree, the number of men who can marry you reduce immediately. And then as you get money, employment, and age and everything goes up, those who are there to look down to pick you are reducing. They are marrying, they are moving on and what have you. So it's not an achievement when you say, yeah, finished school, never dated anyone, I'm cool. Congratulations, Guinness Book of Records, but you may make another Guinness Book of Records.
Wow. Daktari umesema atupeleke moja university si mbaya.
No, it's a good, assuming if we know the age of Kenyan students, at least towards the end of your studies, you should have at least seen someone. You should have normalized being disappointed. You don't need to be disappointed when things are very critical, when this is the year you either marry or you are too old. That's dangerous to be heartbroken at that time. You should be broken. The heart should be broken when there are still opportunities to repair it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kesis. I think some of you, mnajijua mrudi shule, mdate hata for 1 month alafu mtoke hapa nje. Anyway, thank you so much. Clearly, we will wish to have you for 1 or 2 more sessions again. We want to say thank you and thank you and thank you for your time. And by the way, how much do you charge per session if you were to have someone come to you for counseling?
We can talk outside this session. It's busy.
No. I'd like the students to know what they are getting for free.
Now, normally when we do professional counseling, it will go to per hour. Per hour is important because some people can come and engage you on nonsense on end and they need to pay for it. So 2,000 shillings an hour will make sense, but we can always negotiate. If you come from Uniport, we can remove 50 shillings.
Okay. All right, students, you heard that. Pastor Kesis is available. He's also a pastor. So besides connecting you to the world here, it can connect you to the heavens. So do not hesitate to to reach out to him. I think Baratonians are blessed to have you and privileged, and it was also an honor to have you with us. We look forward to having you again another time. We cannot say thank you enough. Asante sana. And to students, we hope that these lessons, these questions were not just for here, but they're things that we will apply. The session was actually meant for you, so we pray that you do not make the mistakes that you've made in the past. If you made a mistake in the past, it's in the past. Let's deal with it, bury it, and then move on with your life the way you should move on. If you see you need to seek professional help in healing wounds or helping someone close to you, a sister or a brother, please do not die in silence. No one is going through something that somebody has never gone through. So never die in silence. The world and everyone out here is here to support you. Dr. Kesis, I don't know if you have any closing remarks or highlights.
We are just available. That's all I will say.
Prayer, I'll request Gravin to pray for us eventually when we finish. Over to you.
I'll just say that we are available, and since we are here to help people, by the way, the money issue is not a big issue. We help people even if they don't pay, by the way. So the money issue is if somebody really chooses to come officially and say, I really want to be cancelled, I want to pay for it, that's okay. But otherwise, we don't mind helping people anytime we are available, only that we need to plan it so that it doesn't become the whole day my phone is ringing about issues of people's life. We have other lives that we must live other than this. Otherwise, I'm very grateful to Uniport. Like I said, what you are doing to our students is great. And I'm very, very grateful I've seen it in Baraton where I'm teaching. And I believe it's also happening to many other places. And those who are mentoring in this group, I want to appreciate. I'm praying that you get more money so that more students can be assisted. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you too. I believe there's no any other comments. So I'll invite Gravin. And thank you all, everyone, for coming. Utilize the bundles you used here. Sawa. Apply. They say wisdom wisdom is what is left after everything you were taught is forgotten. Yeah. So application now is the wisdom. Apply, and apply. Thank you. Gravin, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Maybe before I just mention a prayer, we are very much grateful. Thank you, Dr. Kesis. Thank you, Madam CEO and the staff of Uniport and my colleagues who joined. May God bless you. Baratonians, I'm kindly reminding you of our meeting tonight at 7:30 in Humanities Conference Room. Hope to see you there. So let us pray, friends. Father, in the mighty name, we come on to this moment. We want to thank you in a special way because you have been with us since we began this meeting. Now we have come to the end of it all. Thank you, Lord, for the session that we have had. We want to pray for Dr. Kesis. We want to pray for Uniport, the staff, and also the recipients of Uniport and the friends who joined us, Lord. May you bless everyone. May this session bring a difference unto our lives, Lord, and help us. As even we depart, we want to thank you to be with us and guide us, Lord. Above all, may your name be glorified and your will be done. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys, as we are